Hello, my name is Monica Kretschmer, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Universal Women's Network. And this is the Woman of Inspiration podcast, where we speak with women who lead, inspire, and motivate. Today, it is my absolute pleasure to be speaking with Natasha Bridgmohan. And Natasha is the president and chief visionary officer of the BridgGroup of companies. So welcome, Natasha. I know we had a little bit of a chit chat in the green room before we started today, just about where you started your journey. So I'd like to pick up that conversation and start from there today and share that journey with our listeners.
So I thought it would be, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here. Being part of a circle of professionals and entrepreneurs and like-minded women that are just thriving in, society in any type of industry. It's really exciting to share a lot of knowledge. And I really do believe that knowledge is power and knowledge acquired must be shared. That's just one of my fundamental philosophies as a entrepreneur. So I thought before I explain a little bit about my journey, it actually started about 21 years ago in my bedroom. So I thought, why not have my background? A little bit about my where I started was in my bedroom. It wasn't this bedroom. I was a lot younger. It was a lot smaller, but I was pregnant with my first child, who is now 21 years old, and I was pretty much reading this magazine called Profit 100 for Women, and how these women across Canada were being recognized in the financial industry, and what their staple was all about and how successful they were. And I was working at a company as a credit analyst, and I was thriving. I was doing well. I was one of the employees that really set the bar, and had a great relationship with my CFO. But I was stuck. It was either my CFO, sorry, eventually goes and I'll be taking over that. And that's like 10, 20 years down the road. And I didn't really want it to wait so long to achieve success. And I was telling my husband, and I was flipping through these pages, like, I think I want to get into finance. I think I want to get into investments. I think I want to change lives. I want to find a way to leverage money and have it grow really fast, and and what to do with that money. And he said, well, what do you want to do? I go, I want to quit my job. And he's like, but you're pregnant and we're having a baby and we just bought a house. And I'm like, don't worry, we'll find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. So I resigned from my position. And since then, 20 years later, I have a very diversified company, over 30 full-time staff members, 10 sales individuals. So we've really, really expanded. And I really wanted to do something as an immigrant into this country, and being here for almost over 42 years. I really wanted to be a game changer. I wanted to be a trailblazer, and I wanted to do things for my family and my friends and help them achieve in whatever financial goals and achievements that they wanted to aspire to. And I thought about how to do that. And as I read through this magazine, and I surrounded myself with subject matter experts and mentors that were 10, 15, 20 years in the business. And back then, it was all, Caucasian men. It was a male dominant industry. It's definitely came its way. It's still male dominant, but there's a lot of women of color. There's a lot of women in the industry. And I really wanted to do great things in the financial world, and thinking about how my journey as a young woman in their 20s and then her 30s and now in her mid 40s, it really inspired me at a young age to see how much power money has and what it can achieve for us as human being, if we're able to make really smart decision in planning. Because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So that's another one of my, I love a lot of metaphors. I'm into acronyms. I'm into affirmations. That's who I am. And my room has become my safe space. It's my sanctuary. It's where from I was a little girl, I started writing diaries. I started writing my gratification journal. I did a lot of reading. I did a lot of self-reflection. I took, deep naps and throughout the day. And it really propelled me to become so intellectually driven in my mind, where I'm always thinking about great ideas and plans and opportunities. in terms of growing my business and helping Canadians. And now we're helping individuals all over North America. So it's really great. So yeah, that's my journey. It's been, I've come from we're first time, we're first generation Canadians, and it's 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 it was a wonderful journey to learn and transition into a culture that's very civilized. We've come from a third world country, South America, and being able to bring those two cultures together allowed me to blossom and really showcase my talent. And I was very blessed to surround myself with individuals who were very supportive, like my grandparents and my parents and my friends and my professional colleagues who saw the spark in me and really propelled and encouraged me, and they were all my cheerleaders. And to have that support network system, it only made it more, my journey, a lot more fun, in terms of where I am now looking back. So if you are, in your 20s, 30s, even if you're 40s and you want to start your own business now, the sky is the limit, ladies. Just set yourself up, have a really great business plan, surround yourself with subject matter experts, create a list, continue that list of questions, and when in doubt, spit it out. Remember, the word fail, all it means is first attempt in learning. That's exactly what it means. And I want to continue to inspire women of color, all women, young, old, children, senior citizens. I'm an advocate for senior citizens too as well. So it's really great to be able to have that knowledge and share that knowledge. Like, one of my purpose of life, being a human being, is to serve mankind by providing my knowledge that I'm really good at, which is making money. I make people money, and I save people money, and I help them in all of their financial goals. And I love it. I really love it.
Well, I can see your passion and I can feel the energy coming, like jumping through the screen. And those of you that are watching, I'm sure they'll agree that you are on your path, and you're your purpose. And when you and I had a little bit of a chat in the green room before, you said that was always a part of you, the numbers piece. And so, we talk about women in every stage of transition in their life, but do you remember when you were 12 what you wanted to be when you grew up? How did that path happen?
So that's a really good question. I'm sure we can all agree, when we're younger, we wanted to be more than one type of professional or artist or so forth. And I had two, and I stuck with that too, even when I was like 8, 9 years old, according to my parents. But I do have vivid memories of, writing in my journal, speaking to my counselors in high school, having real visuals of where my life would be. And ironically, even though it's not where I thought I was going to be, it's exactly where I want to be. I wanted to be either a doctor or a lawyer.
Mm.
And the reason why I chose those two careers was because lawyers help by educating and protecting, and doctors help by serving and preventing. And ironically, I'm doing exactly that right now. I am a financial doctor. I heal individuals that are suffering from financial crisis, bankruptcies, consumer proposals, debt consolidation. I help those that are financially savvy, have them become financially wealthy. Those who are financially wealthy, have them become financially multimillionaires. In terms of a lawyer, I'm an executive partner in a law firm, and we're launching it just this May. And even though I'm not giving legal advice, but to be a partner of a law firm, that is just phenomenal. And I'm able to provide my services and still have my passion of what I really want to do by being creative. And I'm an out of box thinker. I'm a risk taker, so I find ways to navigate and have my dreams transition to goals. And if you're a person that says, Natasha, that sounds too good to be true, or how are you going to do that? I can't see that happening. I would be that person to say, watch me. You know what I mean? I will do it. I will thrive. Where there is a will, there's a way. As long as you're doing something that has meaning and purpose in life, and it has a lot of benefit towards others in the community, you can reach and achieve anything. Like, so yeah, I think I've achieved what I wanted to be. And I still want to do more things, and I have my bucket list. But I think about 12 years old is where I really felt that inner calling, that subconscious. I was, my parents and my grandparents say you were old soul. Like I really believe that, because I've always kind of magnified myself towards seniors. I have, my grandparents lived with me. Now my grandfather has passed on. My grandmother's passed on. My grandmother's sister is living with me. She's from England. We took her over here. So I've always energized myself around individuals that are 40, 50 years my seniors, and I gravitated towards them. They've taught me wisdom. They've taught me philosophy. They've taught me the connection of human energy and human power in relationship. And I think I really matured very, very, very fast. And it was a really good experience, but at the same time it was horrible. In terms of being around my same age group, there was not a lot of connection, and I was teased, I was mocked, I was envied. It was hard. That was the hardest part, is surrounding myself with individuals my age, and even up to now, it's always been a challenge. But you can't have everything in life, and you don't want to be the jack of all trades, master of none. Pick your calling, pick your purpose, and surround yourself with those. And your network does not have to be millions of people or hundreds of thousands of people or even hundreds of people. Even if you have one or two close allies, and whether it be your spouse or your children or your best friend or a professional mentor, as long as you have that circle, and it's really tight and it's unbreakable, even when things are down, even when you make a mistake. I think that's really, really important for entrepreneur women who have a really drive for success and has busy calendars and multiple goals and setbacks and challenges and competition. It's really good to have that close circle of people around you.
Well, that was just a conversation I was having just a couple hours ago, actually, was about the success, ambition-driven women, that the circles of influence are usually quite a bit smaller. And the spare time, the very, very little bit of spare time there is, it's family, it's inner circle, it's self-care. It's very, how would you say, it's very purpose driven. There's no time wasted, because you realize the value of every minute, every hour that you have, that you could actually be productive and build relationships, because that's one of the barriers that most of the women that we talk to is, if we can just invent a day 8. Boy, oh boy, we can get
or the clock is more than 24 hours and you're not yawning after 12-hour days. So absolutely, you hit it in the nail. And to me, health is wealth over money, even though I love the power of money and compounding, and how there's a common saying, money's the root of all evil. And I really believe that to be untrue. I think money becomes evil when you do bad things with it. There's so much good you can do with money. It's unbelievable. And speaking about time is everything. And I tell my kids and my husband, and we all have the same belief. And it's so amazing that they've recognized it at such a young age, that you only have one life to live. And when you think about the past, it brings you too many tears, because you have some regrets and what if, could have, should have. If you think about the future too much, it brings you fears. That is why today is a gift. It's so important. That's why they call it the present, right? So it's so important for us as human beings to really gravitate towards our true purpose and why we're here on planet Earth. Because I have lost a lot of close people in my life. Just last year, we had 7 deaths in 7 months, including my brother-in-law, who was 42 years old, and my cousin-in-law, who was 28 years old, and my aunt, who was 65. Young, ambitious, loving, amazing human beings. And it really kind of just shakes you to your core and brings you back to reality. Like, don't sweat the small stuffs. And, don't surround yourself with people who are like vampires and suck your energy. And it's so good to understand that, it's important to stop to smell the roses. Like, I'm a person, I love the rain. I will dance in the rain. I will play in the rain. I'm a person that I love to watch the sunset and the sunrise. I can stare at it all day. I just enjoy the simple things in life. And it's okay to have really nice clothes and have a nice house and have a nice vehicle. That is what, we are able to do if we're able to afford it. And there's nothing wrong. And no one should ever apologize for owning nice things and being successful. It's how you appreciate it and how you showcase it is what sets you apart from, the typical in the typical ones that are, not necessarily thoughtful of others around them. So I really believe in that. Like, time is just, you can't get back time. You just can't.
So I do have to ask, you are so purpose driven, you have so many things on the go, you're incredibly inspiring. So how, I do have to ask, if you were to sort of look at your day to day, what is that one thing that you do every single day to keep yourself focused, keep yourself present, and keep yourself motivated even through the tough times?
Can I answer it in two parts?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I actually, to start my day, I believe in planning. It is so key. So I'm part of the 5 a.m. club, and there's nothing wrong if you're not part of the 5 a.m. club. I believe there's night owls and there's day owls. And so I'm an early bird. So I'm a 5 a.m. riser. And basically I have two parts of how I start my day. And it's actually one word, it's called time management. And in the morning, I have my morning personal rituals, things that I do we talked about self-care, and it's really important that I get my zen on, that I am physically, mentally, psychologically, and spiritually. For those who are spiritual, I make sure that I connect all my senses and bring myself into the present day before I do part two, which is my business plan. Because I do have a very busy executive calendar. I do work 70-hour work weeks. I travel quite often, and I have a really big client base that requires and demands a lot from me. So I have to be able to get my groove on. So the first thing I do, I wake up, and it's really actually very silly, but I do have my ritual. I go to the washroom, I do my business, I wash my face, and I brush my teeth, and then I go straight into my zen and my spiritual yoga prayer room. And in that prayer room, I have a lot of amazing tools that I use, which is my meditation beads, which is my affirmations all over the walls. I have a whole bunch of them, which is my spiritual books that sometimes I'll read from that. And I also practice silence, just silence. Sometimes I just sit, close my eyes, I play some meditation music. Every morning's different. Depending on the zen, do I want to read? Do I want to write in my gratification journal that morning? And I also have my yoga mat right there. Sometimes I will stretch and lie and in silence and listen to meditation. I will multitask, but it's all about multitasking for my bringing my zen and my energy together. Once I'm done, and it's usually about and it all depends on my energy and my mood. Sometimes I need a little bit more self-care. Sometimes I'm there for half an hour. Sometimes I'm only there for 5 minutes. But I know I feel my energy, and I feel when I'm ready to get up, to crush it for the day. Then after that, I shower. I've already set my clothes and my outfit out from the night before, because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I'm not one of those women who are going to stay in the closet all day, throw things all over the place because I don't know what I want to wear. I've already looked at my calendar. I know who I'm meeting, and I know how I have to present myself. And I take my shower, and I'm there. I used to love hot shower. And as you learn about your physiology and your body, I've gone to hot to lukewarm and sometimes cold now. It's really actually really good for the body. And then I self-care in my face and my important, creams that I need too as well. And I will sit down, I have a beautiful little bench, and I'll play. And all this is that's happening, shower and outside, I'm playing Zen music. And again, sometimes if I'm really, really happy, I'll play the happy song. Sometimes when I'm zen, I'll play like really zen music. Sometimes when I feel romantic, it's my birthday or it's my husband's birthday, it's Valentine's Day, I'll play romantic music. It doesn't matter. There's no right and wrong, but it gets me into a mood and it sets the tone for success. Then after that, I go into my computer at home. I check my calendar. I'm already setting myself of what's happening, my calendar shared and explains to me what's happening with my family versus my business. Then I go downstairs, I make breakfast, I make lunch for my children. Well, I have a 15-year-old now. My daughter is older, she's 21. And I talk to my grandma, talk to my cats. I have literally, for those who are animal lovers, I'm some of you who don't might laugh at us, but I actually have full-blown conversations with my animals. Like, I will talk to them and we will chat in the morning, and from there I will start my car. I will try to do everything as much as I can. That's automation. And then I'm off to work. So that's part one. And one of the rituals I have before we leave our home is we all have to, not have to, but we practice this since we were young as a family. Always, we either give high fives or hugs, but always leave the house. We'll say, I love you. Have a great day. I love you. Have a great day. And then then I go to work, and then I do another planning at work. I have three assistants. I have a business assistant, a personal assistant, and I have a sales assistant. And even though I'm sharing these assistants with my vice president, who happens to be my husband, we are very blessed to have these wonderful women in our lives, because I really don't know what I would do if one of them was to ever call in sick, because we're so busy. And I would plan with them, and we would plan our day, and I plan my day up to every 15 minutes. That's how busy I am. I never have an empty spot in my desk in terms of my time log calendar, never. So it's been like that for, I would say, for the last 7 years of my life. And I'm not complaining about it, because I'm truly blessed to be busy. And I know how lucky I am and how grateful I am and how fast that can just go in life, right? So I plan every 15 minutes. I have alarms that are set. I have great assistants, and I have a philosophy and a process and automation in our businesses, and it works, and it works really, really, really well. And we do it all over again every single day. And we have a family calendar. We meet every Sunday. We are all talking about the week. So a lot of different things that we do. And again, I'm going to say it quite often. You're going to hear it. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And it does not have to be a blown out meeting with your family. It's just a little bit of planning meetings throughout the mornings of the day. We have a WhatsApp group, and I was really, really hard in understanding what WhatsApp is about. And I met my husband when there was no emails or cell phones. We used to write love letters. So it's very different. And it was hard for me to get into it, but we have a WhatsApp group message for our family. We chat between it throughout the day. So not everybody has to pick up the phone, because everybody's go, 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 go. And, that's how I live my life. It's very scheduled. Yes, it's very pre-planned, but I do, ladies, have days where there's no rules. I won't brush my teeth. I'm in my pajamas. I'm laying in, or having a lie-in, like my English grandmother would say, having a lie-in, with my husband on a Sunday morning. So I do break the rules per se, but I try to keep it consistent as much as I can to achieve as much as I can on this planet, and be able to do as much as I can to help others, serve others, change lives, and just feel good about myself.
I love your schedule, especially the talk to the animals piece. That I think that's great. I mean, they're
they
part of
never
the
get mad
family.
at you. They don't talk back. For those who have teenagers, I'm sure you're like, yeah, I get it.
And whatever routine, if all of the women that I spoke with, there's that sacred space, because once your day starts, you can never really get it back. And so carving out that time first thing in the morning before everybody else is awake, it's kind of your time. It's like the golden hour. I know that I love that time in the morning, but if I don't get I need 9 hours of sleep. So if I don't get to bed the night before, I'm encroaching on that time in the morning. It doesn't happen, because I actually need that time, and I will take that sleep time as self-care. Anyways, love the routine.
And you are right. Everybody has their sleeping clock. Some are 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. I'm just a different type of beast. I don't know why. I don't drink coffee. I don't smoke. I don't take anything energy pills. I've always had this energy, and yeah, it has slowed down since I've been in my 40s, and I put on a few pounds COVID. But I I for me, for my mental for my mental self-care, for my peace of mind,
Mm,
for me, wiring down and kind of cooling and de-escalating from the day is my room. My
mm,
daughter bought me this amazing light system, this galaxy light. It makes you feel like you're looking at the outdoors. It has the stars and the galaxy, and it changes different colors. I put it on. I believe in a lot of infusion oils. So I will put on like peppermint or lavender. Eucalyptus is really good too. Sometimes if I have a headache, I'll put it in my head, and I'll read a book. I'll pick up a really good, sometimes a really good raunchy romantic book if I really want to go that way, or, a self-care book, or, learning about being a better parent, being a better sibling, being a better spouse. I've been with my husband for 21 years. We've been married 29 years. We've been together, and we've gone through a lot of ups and downs in life. And, there was times where I thought we would never be together. And that D word came up a few times. And looking back at it,
mm.
you have to go through hardships, and it's so important when you're an entrepreneur and you have more we're women, and a woman, we have so much more responsibility. I like our opposite sex, the male. We're built different, or everything is different about us, and we are very highly emotional, intelligent beings. And we are, if you're a parent, it's even, that dynamic of responsibility is even more hard on us. We're doctors for our children, we're nurses for our children, we're educators to our children, and even to our husbands too as well. They rely on us too, is because we have the more emotional intelligence. And with all respect to all the men out there, there are a lot of amazing men who have amazing emotional intelligence level, but women overall are built different, and we have more empathy and more compassion. And it's hard. It's a very hard ride being a woman, but the journey and the experience is definitely outweighs some of those challenges of being a woman.
So you started into something and you talked about your husband. So I wanted to segue to that. We're celebrating International Women's Month, and today and every day in our world, it's celebrate women is really important. So what I would love to hear from you is, why is it so important for men to play a role as a champion for women?
So ironically, and this is the honest to God truth, my husband is born in March the 8th. So, yeah. So, March the 8th is International Women's Day. And his first child was a woman, you know, and a girl who's now a woman, young woman, our daughter. And since then, he's always understood. When he was younger, he didn't appreciate it. He didn't understand. It was like, why do everyone's celebrating Women's Day? I'm a guy. It's my birthday, when he was younger. But as he grew into becoming a young man, and we fell in love, and we got married, and we had children, and and from the time he met me, I was full of energy. I was a powerhouse in so many ways in terms of what I wanted to do, and I could be very intimidated. But he loved that energy about me, and that's what drew him towards me. And he's a great supporter. He understands. He's a really, I think it's a lot to do with his brought up, see how he was brought, and his values. He has a really amazing, I would say, intimate relationship with his mom at emotional level. They're very tight, they're very close, and I've always respected that, because I have a great relationship with my mom. And his mom was a very hardworking woman, and he's always had his mother's back. He's always had his sister's back. And I was lucky to get, I'm very lucky. And he really supports us. And how does he support us? My husband has never ever told me, you can't do that, Natasha, you're not allowed to do that, or I think you're going in and over your head. He would always say, listen, if this is what you want to do, I support you. However, let's talk about the pros and cons. Have you thought about it? Have you
Mm,
thought about how it might affect our family, or how it might affect your health, or how it might affect, you know, all of your other goals. And or I really think this is great, because he would never ever tell me no. No, it would be a collective team decision, because we are everything we do together, we support one another. And even if we don't support one another, we will be able to have an outlet where we would have a safe space to have that conversation and talk about it and say, hey, I'm really not down with this. This is not my vibe. I'm going to support you either way. You're the love of my life. I love you. Know that I'm here, but I just be mindful. He's really great that way. And in all of my adventures in life, whether it's business, whether it's personal, whether it's relationships, whether it's children, and we've always, co-parented together. Like, that was a rule that we've had. Like, even though our kids try to kind of play us against each other, we were too smart for that. So the co-parenting really worked. That was something where we stood our ground, and we decided to have the same rules. And if we didn't agree, we would have private conversations away from the kids. So that was really good at being a co-parent and being on the same plane, and not making our kids. We never put our kids number one in our life. We were always able to put ourselves first, just like the airplane. When you hear the announcements, if the oxygen mask falls down, put it on first before you put it on your child. So we're all about self-care and taking care of ourselves first, and then our children, because you're not any good to your children if you're not mentally, physically, and psychologically fit, to be the best person you can, even in your bad days. You know what I mean? So I'm very lucky. Listen, I can tell you other things. I have challenges with my husband, but when it comes to being, pro woman and receptive in terms of, being with a woman that's full of a lot of energy and that's very strongly opinionated, and who is, a boss lady, he is my biggest cheerleader, my biggest supporter, my most important confidant, my best friend. He is very, very important to me in life. Like, I really value our relationship. He's a good person, very good person.
Well, I hope that he's going to be hearing this podcast afterwards, and I have a feeling you're going to get a really nice dinner or a foot rub or something immediately following, I hope. But, it is a conversation that we're starting to have more and more, because it was 286 years until globally we can achieve equality. And, women down the road, we're just not going to get there fast enough. Why not include half the population to the conversation as our allies? We work together, and everyone plays a role. So it's not up to committee. So I'd love to hear how empowering that message is, because I think we need to talk about that more, and the role that men play for us to succeed. It's not an us versus them. So very powerful. Thank you so much for sharing. I know that you've got a plan for getting up, a plan for business, a plan for your relationship, a plan for your family. What about your plan when you actually reach those milestones? I'd like to talk to you about why it's important to celebrate the achievements of women. And that's the first part. And what do you do to celebrate your milestones and your successes?
So I don't believe in milestones. I used to believe in reaching milestones and celebrating milestones. I am a goal setting person. I do believe in reaching goals. And the reason why I don't believe in milestones is I've went through a lot in my career. I've went through a lot of setbacks. I had a lot of teachable moments more than my big wins, and my wins were big, and I celebrate wins, small wins, big wins, and I celebrate those wins. I've learned to be content in regards to being where I'm at. I do set goals. I set financial goals. I set retirement planning goals. I set business income goals. And, traditionally, like any business, when we do reach those milestones, we do celebrate it with our staff. We give back to our staff by way of bonuses and other incentives. We do quarterly meetings. We're a sales company, so we celebrate in those aspects. But for me personally, um, you know, whatever wins I may have in life, whether it's a health win or a business win, I celebrate I celebrate life. That's what I celebrate. And I started off by the first quarter of the year. I call my priest, and our priest will bless our home. We bless our home annually. We bless our office annually. So that's a celebratory that we do every year for reaching our milestones or wins per se. And then it really depends. If it's a really big win, we'll go for dinner. We will share our win with our staff or our colleagues or our family members. I'm very humble about my milestones. I really don't advertise it. I like I said, I'm really in tune with what life really means and how short it really is to enjoy these milestones. So instead of showcasing or celebrating it, I really I do a lot of humanitarian work. I would give back as much as I can, taking care of seniors and youths in terms of we're having a financial literacy boot camp in March break coming up where we're teaching children how to be financially independent as they grow and learning the basic fundamentals of financial 101. So those are my wins. When I'm financially successful or I'm being recognized and being awarded in receiving different awards, I like to give back. So that's how I celebrate my wins. And as long as I get hugs and kisses from my circle, and I like foot rubs and head rubs, that's really, and just simple things like, Mom, you rock, I am so proud of you. Or my husband saying, wow, you look sexy with your outfit, I love your book. Or I can't believe that you are doing this, you make me so proud. Just stuff like that, just words of affirmations is really what I love when I'm celebrating my wins.
Beautiful. And so, who are the women in your world that really inspire you? You must have some role models that you really that inspire you. Tell us about those women.
So, throughout my I'll be 45 this year. So throughout my 45 years of living on planet Earth, do you believe sometimes people come in your life for reasons in certain seasons? So I've had a string of amazing, beautiful women, and I still have some of these same women around me. But like today, I would say my woman that has inspired me is my daughter right now. She's 21 years old, and she has taught me so much about so much. And I look up to my daughter. She's a trendsetter in her era, in her generation, and the things that she teaches me, and the conversations I have, I really value my daughter's opinion. She's very mature for her age. My mother is everything to me, and she's my confidant. I can go and have a very mature conversation with her about anything and everything, and she's taught me so much about the power of human connections and relationships and hard work, and the importance of being a mom and being there for your children and having that open door policy and that trust. And so my grandmother, oh wow, she's no longer here, but she couldn't read or write, but she was the most respected person in her family. And she's taught me so much values that I think I will take, to my grave. One of the thing is humility, loyalty, being gracious, having gratitude, thinking of others, being mindful of your tongue, watching what you're saying, being mindful for those around you and their social status and what they have accomplished, being humble about your wins and your milestones and your blessings around you and how financially successful you are, and just being present in someone's space when they're speaking to you and acknowledging them, and learning to having active listening skills and not speaking about yourself. And I've learned that with my grandmother, because before anyone that were having problems or wanted to divorce, they would come to my grandma. She was the healer in relationships and medicine and sickness. She just knew so much. She was born in 1919, and they say that era is the greatest generation of all time. No TVs, no electronics, vehicles were only given to those who were really wealthy. And so she really taught me a lot. And then I have a few some businesswomen that are, they've accomplished way more than me, and the respect that they have for me and the respect I have for them is amazing. And the energy that they bring is really great. And cousins, I love them. They're hilarious. And they've done well in their life too as well. So different individuals. And there are celebrities that we know that we follow. I love Oprah Winfrey, Teresa, Mother Teresa is someone that I looked up to and reading a lot about, Princess Diana, stuff like that. There's a lot of different, women of power that we know, that's in the mainstream world. There's not one person that I really connect to, but I do have my circle that I'm bond for life.
What I find so interesting is you're an inspiring woman, just listening to you and everything that you've achieved and your mindset, and the inspiration where you gather your inspiration is that ripple effect of the podcast, even once this goes live and people are like, wow, what an incredible woman. It's like, we have no idea the ripple effect of how many people it touches. And it's just like, a little drop in the water, it just continues to grow. So, I really just love having the opportunity to sit down and chat with women like yourself who've achieved success, have a bigger vision, are living their purpose, and really inspired by, just the really, truest kind of forms of inspiration, which, sometimes people take for granted. And, it's like, to hear you talk about your daughter and your mother and your inner circle and stuff, it's amazing the wisdom that is transferred to us, but also seeing how you're transferring that as well. It's the ripple effect is what I call. So anyways, it's really, really beautiful to have this conversation with you. I would love to find out, and this is one of my very last questions. This is the Woman of Inspiration podcast, Natasha. And I always ask this question because I love to hear the answer is, what is your definition of a woman of inspiration?
My definition of a woman of inspiration is someone who has the ability to inspire those around them. When they walk into a room, they're able to capture the energy in the room and bring positivity into someone's life. A woman of inspiration is a person who wants everyone around them to grow and inspire to be the best person that they can be. A woman of inspiration is someone who can see no color or no barriers when dealing with someone. A woman of inspiration is a person that can sit in front of a murderer, or sit in front of a priest, or sit in front of someone that is powerful in this world and still be true to their values and and still be able to earn and garnish respect from those individuals. A woman who knows where they're going, a woman who knows their journey and knows their road and knows their direction, and does not stray or get intimidated by anyone or anything or any obstacles. They find a solution. They're calm, they're collective. They're able to inspire others by leading by example and believing in, persistent wears down resistance, and surrounding by positive energy. A person that is able to attract good even in an environment that is bad. And there's so many things a woman of inspiration can do, but that's really who I am. And I can sit around a room of anyone and be able to form a conversation and garner their respect, because I'm not here to judge. Who am I? I'm not perfect. So, and everybody has a journey, and everyone has a reason for, and I also believe that good people also can do bad things. And
Mm,
forgiveness is one of the most powerful character traits a human being can aspire. Like, if you understand what forgiveness really, really means, you can remove all the dark clouds in your life, and your path is going to be even brighter and more successful faster. And a lot of people set themselves up for failure because they just don't understand what forgiveness is really all about, and that energy of negativity and sucking you in that warp of thinking of what others think about you or what they've done to you and how they've hurt you. That's on them. That's on them. You control your own happiness, you control your results. And it took me a long time, and I'm still learning, but it took me a long time to understand what the true meaning of forgiveness is. So
so let me
those
ask
are
you,
certain key things.
and I love that. But I would love to know how you have overcome some of those barriers. You talk about the resilience piece, and then always looking forward. So you've got to have developed some sort of a little bit of a trigger that says, okay, this is that feeling. You're going to go into that mode, and you're going to look forward, not backwards. How would you sort of describe that to somebody that is going through a transition, which is hard, for them to actually, kind of not get stuck?
So there are a few relationship um, fundamental tools and values that I follow, and it helps. We didn't talk about this a lot, and hopefully I can come back on and we will talk about this. But I actually suffer from depression since I was a little girl, and I've always gravitated and trying to please others,
Mm,
and people liking me. And so some of the things that I've done to help overcome these challenges is, a lot of us will agree, we all have family members, and sometimes they're not your best, cheerleaders. They don't want to see you be successful, or they're jealous or envious, or they're just not really nice around you, and you feel the energy, and you feel that you're always going to have, they're never going to be content or happy with you. For those individuals, you try. I have a 3-strike rule with anybody in life. I'll try once, I'll try twice, and after third times, I'm out. You learn to love them from a distance.
mm,
Family, it's really hard to cut out family unless they've done something really devastating, but you learn to love them from a distance, and don't
mm,
spend your time and energy chasing them. So that's the first kind of thing I've understood and to master. Love those you love from a distance, that cannot love you as for who you are. And for professional individuals that are not um really good around you, but you really need to kind of work with them, you have to learn to set barriers, and
mm.
how, when you meet them, where you meet them, what conversations you're having with them, set the tone for who's in charge, and own your narrative and own that conversation. So that's what I've learned. Unfortunately, sometimes you can't fire your clients, you can't fire your accountant if they're in the middle of doing something for you. And I have a great accountant, by the way. I love you, William. But I'm just saying, there's just things you can't control, people's behaviors, but you can control the narrative, and you can control how things are going to go. So I've learned that, and I'm also a CNE, which is a certified negotiation expert. So I'm really good at negotiating what I want, and keeping
Yeah.
the tone, and keeping the environment there. And for social life, if you have girlfriends and boyfriends that are just pulling you down, they're vampire sucking, but sometimes they're really great to be around with, because they're just great comedians, and they keep you alive. There's a time and place for that. So you don't have certain conversations with them. You don't talk to them about your professional life and where you're going, or even sometimes your personal life. You're going there, you have a glass of a drink, you go watch movies, you shoot the crap, you have light, fluffy conversation, because they're full of wonderful energy, but they're great. But after 2 hours, you're done. So again, it's really, it depends who you have these relationships with, and how much energy and time you want to spend with them. We're going back all about time. So you have to, and then sometimes there are people that you just have to cut. We talked about people come in your life for seasons, for different reasons. Those are the seasonal ones, and you cut them out, and that's it. You wish them well. You don't speak about them. You don't speak ill about them. You don't think negative thoughts about them. You just wish them well. That was their journey. That was their journey, and it's ended. And that's it. Move on.
Love it. So we've got a lot of wisdom here in this past 45 minutes. Great, great podcast, Natasha. I truly do respect you being so authentic. I think we touched on a little bit of the personal, the business, the family, love the boundaries, really, savor those moments of forgiveness and taking the higher ground. Truly remarkable. What is one thing that you'd love to leave the guests with today? If, words of wisdom, just to, inspire hope, really to set another woman up for success.
If you have a dream, and that dream, you've been dreaming it all your life, that is a sign that you have an opportunity to turn that dream into a goal. And once you begin your journey in terms of goal setting, remember that anything in life that is full of wins and milestones, nothing comes easy that is worth it. There's hard work around it. But I can promise you, if you create your journey and you create your vision with those around you that are your cheerleaders, and you set yourself up for a mission of success, including planning, nothing can stop you. Not even death, not even a death in terms of a loss of a loved one, not even financial challenges, not even a divorce, not even health problems. You will crush it, and you will be able to reach your goals. And I really want you to really understand that your success is on you and no one else. No one else can stop your path of success. There will be roadblocks, there will be mountains, there will be valleys and hills, but understand that your success is on you. How you create your energy of success is on you. And don't let anyone ever tell you that you cannot do something that you have dreamt about all your life. That would be my message.
And I think that was the beginning message, was go fiercely towards your dreams. I mean, that's the fuel. That was the fuel for you, is don't tell me that I can't do it, because I'm going to prove you wrong. And that's a great way to end. I just want to say thank you so much for sharing this time and sharing your words of wisdom, and really giving us a sneak peek into what makes you and what has built your success, and what you really stand for your business, for your community, for your family. I really appreciate this authentic conversation with you today. Natasha, for those that are listening and they're like, I would love to get a hold of this woman, I would love to hear more, learn more about her business, how can they get a hold of you?
So you can Google me, Natasha Bridgmohan. You can YouTube me, Natasha Bridgmohan, or you can call me toll free at 1-866-553-7467, 1-866-553-7467, or you can email me at natasha@thebridgegroup.ca. That's 2 G's, no E's in the middle. That's natasha@thebridgegroup.ca. I would love to, meet any one of you who would love to have a chat with me, and I would love to learn about your story and your journey. But you can find me on the World Wide Web.
Amazing. And you're also on LinkedIn as well, if you have somebody reaching out to you on LinkedIn.
I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Yes, you name it, all the social media icons, you can find me.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you so much for joining the Woman of Inspiration podcast. You truly are a woman of inspiration, and we're looking forward to having you part of our Changemaker book that we'll be publishing very soon. So thank you so much. Excited about the journey ahead, and inspiring women to step into their greatness on the spotlight and choose success on their own terms. Thank you,
Well,
Natasha.
thank you, Monica. Thank you for this opportunity, and stay beautiful, women, always.